This was very important at this time, between the 14th and the 18th century. Did you see how they are spoiled? They destroyed it. They did not like the aristocratic people. And in the old Nice, a lot of aristocratic people used to live. Imagine that Nice has been a very important town in up to the 18th century, all built in metal, in iron, by Gustave Eiffel. And the German soldiers, they bombarded. So we'll come back by the flower market and straighten. Hein?
In nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.
To imagine nothing, just a fishing place. The prince was Charles III. Mr. François Blanc had the money. He made a deal. The SBM Society of the Bath, and they built the casino, inaugurated in 1863. 1 year later, they were very clever. They decided to build the Hôtel de Paris. In that way, the people, they could stay, and the Café de Paris. They designed a beautiful garden. Prince, very proud of himself. He decided to give his name to the place he had created, Mount Charles, in Monégasque language, Monte Carlo. So now you can see the extension, a lot of skyscrapers. You saw the most expensive apartment of the world with a swimming pool on top. Now we go to the casino. The soldiers from Genoa, they built a castle. The Guelph families, they were obliged to leave Genoa. I take the castle. By a dark night, knock knock at 2 brothers, with the help of some Guelph soldiers. Just above the door, the coat of arms of the Grimaldi family. No, Francisco Grimaldi, the one who had the idea. For the 700 years of the Grimaldi family, we still have the same family, the Grimaldi family, which is now the oldest family of the older than the Windsor.
Hitherto, aristocratic factions, and above all the emperor, had been parties, as it were, to the papal election.
Boniface VIII, a Roman pontiff, was elected, excommunicating the King of France. For most of the 14th century, the bishops of Rome and the fortified of Avignon, all the popes that followed, were French, more amenable to the throne of France than that of Peter.
So here on the right you have the Rhône River, Avignon Bridge, the only bridge crossing the Rhône River since the 12th century. It was expensive to cross it. The river belonged to the French king. When the river flooded, Avignon belonged to France because it was on the river. So they needed to pay taxes to the king, and that's why they built the wall. Cathedral with one golden statue on the top, and then you have square towers. It is the palace.
Clement V,
Elected formally by the College of Cardinals.
anxious to please the King of France, John XXII, condemned the dogma of apostolic poverty. Those who disagreed were handed over to the Inquisition. Benedict XII built the great fortress of Avignon, the Palace of the Popes, a structure built to stand. The papacy was here to stay. Clement VI, totally aligned to the King of France, papal court became a byword for luxury. Avignon flourished.
So after Clement VI, Innocent VI, that finished the walls, Urban V decided to go back to Rome. It was still too dangerous, he came back here. The 7th Pope of Avignon, Gregory XI, arrived in Rome because Catherine de Sienne, he received a message of an angel that told them the Pope needs to go back to Rome. The Romans, they closed the cardinals that were with the Pope on one room in Rome and told them, you have to choose an Italian Pope. And so they elected one Pope there. The cardinals came back to Avignon. Another conclave in Avignon and one Pope in Rome. Elected by the cardinals that were not the true ones, will be called anti-popes. And in Avignon we had two. That was John XXIII and Benedict XIII, 1378 until 1415, that reunified the Christianity. The anti-popes shield, then the two keys. They are crossing. The two keys are... So here we have the division of the old one. The one on my right side, with the entrance, the small one on the right. So with Benedict XII, so the second Pope of Avignon, the palace was only there. With Clement VI, it was not enough, and they did this one over here, this part, just or mainly because he needed the big tower that we call the Tower of the Wardrobe. There's this one over here. They add one bridge. You see the marks on this tower? They used to have the bridge over there on the northern sacristy, and then they had a small hole that allowed them to assist the mass without having a communication with the outside world. So music was born also here. Before it was just some points without the line. Start to add dimensionality on painting.
Papal administration grew to some 4,000 people. Precisely at this time, Europe was hit by Black Death. A new wave of devotion to the Virgin Mary returned to the early pure church. In 1377, it had to return from Avignon to Rome. Only true home.
Serrador eixos turons per fer-vos un palau, per fer-vos un palau. Reina del cel que els serafins serraren, reina del cel, Déu-nos abric dins vostre mantell blau, dins vostre mantell blau. Rosa d'abril, morena de la serra, de Montserrat estel, il·lumineu la catalana terra, guieu-nos cap al cel, guieu-nos cap al cel.
We continue to sail on a westerly course, sailing at a speed of 19 nautical miles per hour, crossing the Atlantic Ocean since our departure from Tenerife. And there are 3,106 nautical miles remaining to reach Miami in Florida.